It's time for our daily dose of cope. I'm not sure if you remember Chichi Kachiyama, but this is her little sister, Mika's. Mika's enjoys faces just like her big sister. This face over here says, I'm white and I voted for you. Why did my daughter lose her job? It says at the bottom, Baka, the leopard is eating your face again. So let's jump right into some of these stories. This is a Facebook post from a man named Sean Missy. He says, I'm a former federal worker. I voted for Trump in every election. I am an owner operator trucker. My wife is a federal worker. We are hardworking people who bust our butts to get the job done. Don't lump every federal employee together. It's a mistake. It's just like how they kind of lump all DEI people together as if that is equivalent to Black. That is what they do. I went to his page. His post is definitely getting shared. He put this up today. It says, the anti-Trump delirium is real. You should see the hate I'm getting just for believing in America first. If he believes in America first, he should be perfectly fine with his wife getting the axe for being inefficient and wasteful. Republican leadership had told other Republican lawmakers, to stop holding these town halls because the constituents are showing up and they are quite angry the way jobs are being axed, the way funds are being swiped away. And so this is an article. It says, if you came here just to yell, this is what this lawmaker says. If you came here just to yell, I can leave. Trump supporting Oregon congressman tells crowd of angry rural voters. These rural voters are getting it because they definitely live and die by those federal funds. This picture kind of made me laugh because under these animals it says Oregon's rural Republicans. That made me chuckle a little bit. I thought it might make you chuckle. All right, so the article. It says Oregon's only Republican member of Congress, Representative Cliff Bentz, stood before a town hall of more than 400 of his constituents in deeply red Eastern Oregon and faced a barrage of jeers. Many attendees were upset with the first month of cuts by the Trump administration and Elon Musk Doge, as well as Bentz's staunch defense of them. Bentz's town halls have typically been relatively docile affairs, but not this time. While many 2nd Congressional District constituents who unleashed on the third-term member of Congress at town halls in LaGrande, Baker City, Boardman, and Pendleton were Democrats, a quieter and less animated portion of the crowds appeared to be worried Republicans. Emotions are running high because cuts to federal employment, grants, and social welfare programs threaten to run deep in rural Oregon. Compared to Oregon's population centers, incomes are lower in eastern and southern parts of the state, where federal dollars have an outsized impact. And with President Donald Trump back in office and shaking up government like never before, some loyal Republicans living in Trump strongholds are feeling shell-shocked. Turnout to question Bentz at a series of recent town halls was as much as 5 times as usual. You're just rolling over and you're okay with that? And you should be ashamed, yelled people at a February 19th LeGrand gathering. Howls of protest were so frequent that the otherwise unflappable lawmaker reached his breaking point. If you just came here to yell, I can leave. Do you want me to do that? Bentz asked the crowd. He says, at least I was. Later, in another attempt to calm attendees, Bentz reminded them that at least he was willing to show up and take the heat. I'll just say many of my Republican colleagues are not doing town halls. Bentz is one of a league of Republican representatives across the nation who received a verbal lashing in their overwhelmingly conservative districts during their first town halls since Trump retook office. Trump's efforts to slash $2 trillion from the federal budget while instituting $4.5 trillion in tax breaks that disproportionately benefit the rich have been supported by the majority Republican Congress and significant numbers of Republican voters who believe the cutting is necessary. But the way Trump is pushing for change has left GOP lawmakers torn between their instincts to protect their constituents and their loyalty to the president. It's also drawn criticism from the left that Trump's actions ignore the Constitution, which says the power of the purse lies with with Congress. And this is where Republican lawmakers are going to have to choose, because if they want to get voted back in the midterms, they're going to have to figure out, are they going to continue to take money from their constituents to give to billionaires and millionaires so that they can have another yacht or another family home or whatnot. So they're going to have to figure this out, and their constituents are giving it to them. I love the way they write letters to Donald Trump. Like, here's Eunice. She says, "Good evening, Mr. Trump. I am not happy about those social program cuts, and you promised you won't touch those. To be honest, you may risk losing momentum and power in the midterm if the Christian knockoffs keep going after the poor." She says the Christian knockoffs as if he is a true Christian. If you truly care about every American, you should show compassion. Show compassion and mercy and kindness and true wisdom by being percipient. And percipient means to have a good understanding of things or to be perceptive. All right, she continues. Healthcare and food and shelter are fundamental rights and should not suffer any diminution or contraction. Where is your conscience for allowing some of your party members to starve the poor or allow the suffering of millions who truly believe in you? The wild thing is the way she's talking, you would think that she's talking to a Democrat, because since when do Republicans care about the poor and have a conscience and care about people not going hungry? These are the same people who don't want poor school children to have lunch. I think that Eunice, she may need to get checked out because I worry for her mental health. Anyways, she gives him this little card that says, "Good night. Hope you have a wonderful and peaceful night's rest." He will, because he has food and shelter. He has a golf course that he keeps frequenting. He's not worried about any poor folks or the elderly or the disabled or anybody. So why do you all keep typing to him like this? Now we got a Cuban MAGA. He says, "I supported Trump for three reasons. One, his tough policy against Cuba and Venezuela. Two, because he promised to end the war, which no people should experience. He can't end the war. He's a liar. Number three, because the previous administration was a complete disaster. But I do not support what is agreed. He is behaving like a real clown. That's because he is a real clown. Which will be the future? Yes, we will continue to have a circus because you all voted in a clown." Anyways, it says United States allied with totalitarian Russia. We did because of Trump. And Europe with communist China. Europe is allied with China. Okay. There will be nothing left to fight for. Yes, Trump is in bed with Putin because Putin is his daddy, is Daddy Vladdy. And he has two daddies because Elon Musk is also his daddy. This is a good political cartoon that goes perfectly right here. It says, "When America has your back," the weekly illustration from The Economist. And so from the front, they got the arrows coming from Russia. From the back, it has the knives coming from Trump and Trump's administration. I don't know if you've seen this. Norwegian fuel supplier halts U.S. Navy refueling, urges others to follow. Following yesterday's White House events, Haltback Bunkers, one of Norway's largest marine fuel companies, has reportedly announced it will stop refueling U.S. Navy vessels. The company is also calling on other European firms to deny service to American forces. That's the thing. We are in an abusive relationship with Trump. Trump has isolated us from everybody. People are boycotting us, not coming to the United States for tourism. We are literally isolated. We are about to enact these tariffs this week. So, from the North and the South are going to be our enemies. So we're in a trade war. These people are not going to help the military out. It's about to get completely jacked up, all because Trump is in bed with Daddy Vladdy. We are literally isolated from the world because of Trump and his actions. All right, y'all. Let me know what you think about these so far. It's always something in our news cycle. We got one more story of the leopards feasting. This man and his business might go out of business because of Donald Trump and one of his executive orders. This is an article out of the Washington Post. He bet his life savings on paper straws. Trump may destroy his business. The president says paper straws don't work, setting off a wave of turmoil for small manufacturers around the country. The paper straw, Guy Spinelli was sure would be the way of the future. After 50 years toiling in the country's paper mills, the 75-year-old plunked his life savings into creating a 24-hour strong straw that he manufactures in Woodstock, Illinois, and sells to more than 1,000 restaurants, bars, coffee shops, and casinos. But now, 2 years in, Spinelli says the party is over. President Donald Trump's executive order last month calling to end the use of paper straws dealt a swift, decisive blow to his business, Boss Straw. Orders have stalled, even though the action only stopped purchases of paper straws by the federal government. Instead of selling $800,000 worth of straws this year, Spinelli fears it'll be 1/10 of that. Our distributors are saying everybody is going back to plastic now because of the president, he said. The president I voted for, the man who says, let's make America great again, let's help small businesses grow. That man is going to put me out of business. The nation's U.S. paper straw industry, made up primarily of mom and pop businesses established in the past decade, is reeling from the White House's directives against its products. The order doesn't bar other companies from buying paper straws. It just asks for a vague national strategy to end the use of the product. But business owners like Spinelli says it sent a much larger message to Americans that paper straws are ineffective and unnecessary. In his executive order, Trump says paper straws are non functional, use harmful chemicals, and are sometimes wrapped in plastic, undermining the environmental argument for their use. These things don't work, he said before signing the mandate on February 10th. I've had them many times, and on occasion, they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds. It's a ridiculous situation. So we're going back to plastic straws. The country's paper straw industry, valued at more than $6 million per year by market research firms, is relatively small. But while the president's effort to end the forced use of paper straws doesn't deal a particularly significant blow to the overall U.S. economy, economists say it's an example of how quickly the administration's actions can upend conditions for businesses and consumers. Trump has signed dozens of EOs since he took office in late January. The president signed a seemingly narrow order to ban paper straw procurement by the federal government. But what consumers are internalizing is that paper straws are bad, period, said John Mayo, executive director of the Georgetown Center for Business and Public Policy. Not only does that distort buying decisions, but it has a ripple effect. Job losses, business closings, there's a multiplier effect throughout the economy. The White House disputed the idea that Trump's orders was leading the charge against paper straws or that his actions were hurting U.S. businesses. This isn't just a random petty issue picked by the president. It's in response to normal people preferring plastic straws over paper, a White House official said on the condition of anonymity to discuss the president's thinking. The market for paper straws was already small. It's a fad that tried to take off but didn't because of an organic free market lack of demand. Spinelli, this man right here, spent $250,000 developing the three-layer prototype and $1.8 million on custom machinery. The specialized paper is smooth on the outside so it doesn't irritate lips, but strong enough that it can punch through plastic lids and make it to the bottom of an ice-filled cup without disintegrating. It's the best paper straw in the world, Spinelli says, and he notes Fox News host Jesse Waters once declared it the best paper straw of all time after a 24-hour on-air water challenge. The crazy thing is, this is one of the reasons why it's going to be a tough sell for people to invest in businesses right now. The volatility of politics and the economy and the way Trump is, he can just do things at a whim and destroy a business. This man invested $1.8 million in custom machinery, and now his business is about to go out of business. All right, it says, but if demand for paper straws withers away, he's out of luck. The specialized machinery can't churn out anything else. and the paper can't be used for printing. He worries he'll soon have to lay off all 9 employees and file for bankruptcy as more of his customers turn to cheaper plastic straws from China. You sit there and go, what in the world is the president doing? He said, adding that he's tried to reach the White House by mail, phone, and email at least a dozen times. This is going to drive a 75-year-old man to bankruptcy. And on the post, this person says, that sucks, pun intended. And then the next person says, they were really grasping at something. I can't think of the word. Oscan says, fascism. And the person towards the bottom says, it can blow too. And then Parfait Additional says, voting against your own interests is crazy work. So there you have it. This man and his straw business is going out of business because of Trump's executive orders on paper straws. This is so wild to me. The fact that he came into office and one of the first things that he does is declare war on straws. But that's where we are. We can't really work on anything as far as inflation and food or anything. No. But straws are important. All right, y'all. Let me know what you think about all of this one. Join the conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.